Good morning, traders. Welcome to the market color for today, the 8th of December 2025. We're excited to have you all here. My name is CJ, and I'm going to be taking you through the first session of this market color for today. We're going to be looking at a few currency pairs, starting out with the dollar index. Then we'll proceed to look at Euro USD, GBP USD, gold against the USD. We're also going to be looking at the yen basket, starting off with GBP JPY afterwards, and then Euro JPY. That is what we are going to be looking at today. So these are the list of the assets that we are going to be analyzing today. So sit tight and enjoy the rest of the market color. Starting off with the dollar index. Now, if you look at the dollar index on the daily time frame, you'll see that it looks like the dollar index has finished its move to the upside, because we are seeing what looks like a shift in structure to the downside. When we look at the lower time frame, we're going to get a clear understanding of this. But from what we're seeing so far, the dollar index looks to be breaking structure to the downside, and this could engineer the resumption of the weekly time frame sell trend on the dollar index. Okay. Prior to now, we were thinking this buy move would lead the dollar index all the way to this 50% level. Well, it didn't, so we might see that maybe sometime later. However, for now, with what we are seeing on the dollar index, we might see it trade further to the downside. Now, if you're looking at it fundamentally, we're expecting the US interest rates to be released this week, sometime this week, I think on Thursday or Wednesday. And there is speculations that we might be experiencing another rate cut. Okay. Last time the interest rate was released, we also speculated the rate cut, because the rates were cut from 4.5% to about 4.25%. So there was about a 25 basis point reduction in the interest rate. Right now, we're expecting another 25 basis point reduction in the interest rate. And if that should follow the trend of the rate cuts, then we might see the dollar index trading further to the downside. So this might just be the beginning of the sales on the dollar index moving into this week. If you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, you see clearly that price has already started breaking. And the next place that we'll be experiencing a clear break for the dollar index will be somewhere around here. Once we see price go to take out this low, then we'll be confirming that the break is happening. So we might see the dollar index break to the downside. So in summary, from what I'm seeing on the dollar index so far, even on the 1-hour time frame, I mean, the full-fledged sales structure was formed all the way to this level here. So from what I'm seeing, I'm expecting a clear sell-off on the dollar index this week. This is my expectation. This is the bias that I have for the dollar index this week. Okay. Now let's move over to GBP USD. Now, if you're looking at Euro USD rather, not GBP USD. So let's look at Euro USD together. Let's start off from the daily time frame. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you're looking at Euro USD on the daily time frame, you see that just like the dollar index, it's already breaking structure to the upside, and it's showing clarity for more and more upward movement. If that's on the daily time frame, if you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, you will also notice that price has already started breaking to the upside as well. Okay, so this was the last sell structure. Price is looking to break it, and that was on, I think, Thursday last week. Price was looking to break it, and then finally it broke it last same Thursday. So you can see that the Euro USD is on an upward trend currently. Look at it from the 1-hour time frame as well, you see that we are clearly in an upward trend on the Euro USD. One place I'm expecting a reversal, talking about the trades that we'll be looking to get today, one place I'm expecting a reversal on the Euro USD is somewhere around there. So let's mark this out. So when we get to lower time frame, we'll be able to reference it. So for the trades that we're looking to take, for Euro USD, I'm expecting a buy. And I want to see a retracement to this level here, and then I'll take a buy. So I want to see something like this to this level here. And then I'm taking a buy on Euro USD. So this should be my buy too. So we're expecting a buy from Euro USD from somewhere around here. So we're expecting Euro USD to trade all the way to this high here, to take this high out, because that is like the next point of liquidity. So for Euro USD, that is what I'm expecting to play out. So this move to this high to take it out. So this is going to be where my entry will be. To be precise, this is where it is. We're around 1.16554. Stop loss is going to be right below here. Yeah. 1.16400. That would be my stop loss. And then take profits can be seen on 4-hour time frame. 1.17265. This is my bias on Euro US, and this is how I would want to execute the trade once it's time to play out. Okay, so this is what I'm looking out for on Euro USD trade. So let's go to GBP USD. Now looking at GBP USD as well on the daily time frame, you can see that GBP USD has already started making that upward move to that it started making that move to the upside right from here. Okay, so it's looking clear that GBP USD might have even started its own buy on the weekly time frame. It didn't retrace as much as we wanted. However, you can see that it was very close to the 50% level. Right now, it's pumping back to the upside. On 4-hour time frame as well, you can see that price is moving back to the upside on GBP USD. Right now, I would want to see a decent retracement before I take a buy on GBP USD, unlike that of Euro USD. If you look at this on 4-hour time frame, you see that price is way high above at premium level. So we'd want to see a retracement to somewhere around here. Okay, which was this previous high we saw around here. We want to see a retracement of GBP USD all the way to this 50 level below, and then we'll be taking a buy. So I'll be staying out of GBP USD because I don't think it's going to buy as much today until that retracement. So once that's retraced properly, then I'll be looking for a buy. So I'll be sticking with my Euro USD trade for today. Okay, so these are the things that I have in focus for today, and these are the trades I'm looking to take. Let me know if you have any question as we proceed with the analysis on gold against the dollar. So just a quick recap for those who came a little late. The dollar index, I'm looking to short it further into this week. And another thing that is engineering it, apart from just the technical break of structure, we're expecting interest rate cuts, and that's usually not good for the dollar. So we're expecting sell-off on the dollar as a result of that news. Then for Euro USD on the opposite side of the dollar index, I'm expecting a buy. And then for GBP USD also, I'm expecting a buy. However, for Euro USD, I want to see a buy today. But for GBP USD, I'm expecting a retracement to happen later on after maybe the Euro USD has bought. But then GBP USD might retrace before buying. So I want to see the retracement first before taking the buy. So the trade I'm looking out for today is the Euro USD buy. All right, so we're going to go on a very short break for about 10 to 20 seconds, and then we'll continue the analysis with gold against the dollar. So sit tight and enjoy the rest of the market call.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back to the Market Follow brought to you by the Value Field Trading Team. That was an insightful analysis from CJ, and this morning we are going to be taking off from the precious metal. Then from there, we head straight to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket of the outcome of our analysis to interpret what we have on the yen correlated pair and also the action for the day and also for the week. All right, let's start with the precious metal, starting from the weekly perspective. Now, if you look at the weekly time frame, now we are going to see that everywhere is still more of a run all the way to the upside. You see how that price has created a very large expansion. However, we are expecting this expansion to give us at least a 50% retracement all the way back down. And if you draw that, you are going to observe from this particular level, the price has not really gotten to that 50% peak level, and that is what we have right now forward, right? If you look at it right now, we've not seen price getting to that 50%. So we are still of the opinion that we should still see some level of retracement. And that was even more of our outlook last week. But last week happens to be a consolidating week, and even from the daily perspective too, we are going to see that price is still very much creating more like it wants to continue its bullish trend. But because we've not really seen a market structure from the daily perspective, and that is also a a thing of concern for us. So we'll go to the lower time frame to interpret what exactly are we supposed to look out to do on for the precious metal this week and even today. Now, if you look at it from the 4-hour perspective too, some weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, we saw some level of market structure somewhere here, how that price took out this low and created more like a flip zone somewhere here. And we expect that when price gets back to that flip zone, we should see some sell-off, of which we saw this particular move sometimes in November. Right now, this week, we are expecting more of price to pull more to the downside, especially price trading to come and take out liquidity somewhere below here on the 4-hour time frame. But since last week, we've seen that price has just been consolidating all through last week, and this week we are expecting the sell to move on this week. So let's go to the lower time frame from the 1-hour perspective too. We are going to see 1-hour perspective too. We have price just shrinking within that range, and that is also telling us we are already in the end of the year. We are going to be seeing much more less volume compared to the way we used to see before in the other month of the year. So December is going to be of less volume, right? So on the 1-hour time frame, all we are seeing is that the market is in a consolidating phase right from last week Monday till today. So within that range, what should we now expect to do? I would like us to go to the lower time frame from 15 to 5 minutes to see what exactly do we have there. Now, our typical boss pattern is gradually showing up on the 15-minute time frame, which this is more of our shoulder. But reason being that there is much more volatility on the precious metal, and this is going to cause us a very big stop loss if you are looking to sell around this level. So I'm of the opinion that why not we waiting to sell when price, if for any reason price comes all the way to trade into this 15-minute order block. That's going to be a great one for us to sell. And even if you look at it from the 30-minute perspective, this is also a good level to sell from. However, your stop loss will be a little bit wide to the upside. So if you have a first entry somewhere here, then on your 5-minute time 15-minute time frame, you can have your second entry around this order block. You see price trade around that order block, and that is also telling us that when price get to the order block level or this first entry level, we don't just jump into the trade, or we wait for you see our entry signature and we follow through for that. And if you are thinking what exactly is the entry signature, we've always shown you, and if you want to get it more, you can enroll for our AFS boot camp. All right, this is it here. So what we are expecting for the day is that price retrace before entering into this particular level first, then we follow through if you see any signature there, and if not, then we should wait for price to come all the way into this level here, then we can easily follow through to the downside. So we look out for our entry signatures around this level, and where would our stop loss be for the precious metal? We should be having somewhere at the top here, right? So that is it. Okay, so that is for the precious metal this morning. And I know some of you like, why not us taking 5 minutes time frame to see what is there? Yes, for 5 minute time frame. Yes, 5 minute time frame is confirming what we are seeing on the 15-minute time frame. So if you have to trade it from the 5 minute perspective, then this is going to be your shoulder level. This particular zone here is been around the 4,242 level, 4,400 and 242 level. Somewhere here is going to be your entry level. So let's watch out because this whole zone is a sell zone. But remember, on the higher time frame, we are actually in a ranging market. Price is in a consolidating market. But from the 4-hour perspective, yes, we are still in a range, but if you look at it based on what we have in the past times here, then you are going to observe that we ought to have some level of pushback because you see some level of market structure shift somewhere here around this region, which is this that you have here. So that is that for the precious metal. Let's quickly get to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket, and we use that to interpret the other yen correlated pair. Now for the yen basket, we've been expecting some level of pullback for a while now, and we see that it seems more like the yen basket wants to come and test this weekly order block that causes this sharp move to the upside sometime in 2024. And that is what we are still, anticipating to happen right now. So this week, there is more tendency. We see a sell to buy this week. But remember, our overall expectation still remains a strong yen moving forward towards the end of this year and into the beginning of next year. So let's watch out for price trading into this weekly order block this week. All right. So for the daily perspective too, it's similar on the daily perspective. As a matter of fact, we have some, level of confirmations on the daily perspective. If we refine this weekly order block on the daily time frame, then you are going to observe how that price is still expected. It gave more a shoulder level somewhere here. So this fair value gap that we have here, we see expect price to trade into it, and that is why we have this markup here for us to follow through to the upside. So today, I'm still expecting a sell of the yen today into tomorrow. Then maybe the rest of the week we can now see, we begin to see the strength, yen strength moving forward. But the overall, our expectation is that we want to see a sell to buy on the yen basket. Now, if that is what we are expecting to see on the yen basket, I want us to take note of this particular structure here because we are going to be able to interpret the order yen correlated pair. Look at what we have right here. Let's use it. We are going to use it to interpret the order yen correlated pair, meaning this shoulder on the daily time frame, and take note of the time. So that was sometimes in July 2024. All right. So let's quickly get to GBP/JPY to know what we have for the for the day on GBP/JPY. Now for GBP/JPY, even from the weekly perspective, I want us to see that our price is trying to, aiming at this liquidity level here. We expect it to take out somewhere here on the daily time frame if we refine it. So we don't know if GBP/JPY is going to create a new all-time high again because this happens to be the all-time high we've seen in 2024. So we are expecting that two things happen. Is that we begin to see when we see our sell structure form within this zone, then we follow through to the downside. But because the yen basket has not created lower low in respect to the last year high, but in respect to the last year low, which is the lowest we've seen the yen basket so far, then GBP/JPY2 is just gradually moving around that state. So that brings us to the conclusion that we are most likely going to see GBP/JPY range within this level before the sell all the way to the downside. All right, let's go to the daily time frame to interpret what we have so far so good there. On the daily time frame, everything is still telling us that price is still very much bullish, especially since price came to tap into this void that we have here and begin its rally all the way back up. So until we see a market structure shift to the downside, then we begin to follow through. And knowing fully well that on the yen basket, what we're expecting is sell buy. So we should see some level of buy, sell on GBP/GPY, or we see range on this 4-hour time frame. Now, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see price is currently in a consolidating phase, as we did not see it create any higher high again. Now, on the 1-hour time frame, what are we seeing there? On the 1-hour time frame, we are seeing, yes, this happens to be the last high for the year, and we are seeing that price is gradually pushing the side, and return back. So until we see a clear market structure shift for itself, then we begin to follow through. We would have taken this as a shoulder, but we did not see a clear, sweep of liquidity somewhere here. That's why we won't take it as a shoulder. If we go to the lower time frame, let's check on 30 minutes to 5 minutes. Then we see if we have any latest entry there. On our 30-minute time frame, you can see it's still very much in a consolidation, and the consolidation is telling us that price is more on the premium side, which we may look out for execution level for us to sell to discounts. Now, on 15-minute time frame too, we have seen that playing out. So I'm of the opinion, just the way we have for GBP/USD, just let's watch what plays out on it. Also for GBP/GPY, today is most likely going to be a watching day. Just watch and see what the new structure will be. All right, meaning if your structure did not show up, then you have no point of pulling the trigger, right? So just wait until you see a clear structure on it. A quick one lastly to EUR/JPY, and as we round up. So if there's any question, you can easily start typing in the chat box before we call it a day. Okay, for EUR/JPY, we are going to see for EUR/JPY price is still very much less. If we look at it from the weekly perspective too, we've seen how that price already created more like a higher high compared to what we've been expecting on over the month so far. So we've seen a higher high on the time frame. Now for the daily time frame, what we are seeing for the daily time frame of EUR/JPY is that price is still also very much good. So what we should look out for is look at this consolidation, then we should look for more opportunity to buy. So let's go to the lower time frame, particularly minute, then we look for opportunity to buy. So I'm of the opinion that what we should just wait for is price pulling back a little bit more into like 50% of this swing for the day, which is this. When you draw your Fibonacci from this level high, then we want to see how the price is going to retrace a little bit into this level. Then we can easily follow through. As a matter of fact, I'm saying that most likely price is going to come to this zone for us to buy EUR/JPY to the upside, because the range for EUR/JPY is more to the upside. So when you see price retrace all the way to this zone and we see our entry signature, then we can pull the trigger for EUR/JPY. So that is what we are seeing so far on the EUR/JPY chart. Even from the 5 minutes too, we may want to check your 5 minutes to see what exactly is going on there, right? So that is what we should be expecting on the EUR/JPY and also for GBP/JPY, right? So if there's any question, I would love to take it quick. And if there is none, all right, so this is on the 5-minute time frame too. So we are expecting more of a retracement for us to follow through for the buy of EUR/JPY. So if there's any question, you can easily type in the chat box. And if not, this is going to be the end of the market call up to you by the Value Flow Trading team. So we meet again by 2 p.m. Make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. I'm Late Cheers and God bless.